There is no gray hair.
Because I just saw my friend Ali, and he made all the gray hair golden. Yeah, I love Ali. Take one scoop back, sweetie. Okay, so thanks for coming back. We're going to, this time, do some reading and some thinking and some talking together today. So the first thing that I'd like for you to do is to get to have a look at the text.
Well, I am a good reader.
Now just hang on one second, friends, because I'd like for us to take a look at first. Readers often look at the title first, so can you take a look at that title first?
Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, can we read it together? The Great Smoky Mountains. And I know as a reader, I like to look across either the book or today we have a text card that has an article, an informational article on it, just to see how it's organized. So can you scan, do a quick look across your text card? Not reading the words, but just to notice what the author has included, and it might help to hold it that way, sweetie. What the author has included on our card. Yeah, it kind of needs to go like this. That'll be the best way. Yeah, or on the floor in your lap, either way. Maybe get crunched if it's underneath my knee. If you put it under my knee, it'll get crunched. So let's put it right there. So what are we noticing, reading friends?
The Great Smoky Mountains. Maybe we might be talking about the Great Smoky Mountains.
We are going to be talking about the Great Smoky Mountains.
I think you're starting to think, as readers often do, about the purpose of why this article was written. And so maybe, I keep hearing you guys say, the Great Smoky Mountains. So maybe the purpose of this article is to tell us more about the Great Smoky Mountains. But in order for me to know more about the Great Smoky Mountains, I need to kind of think about how my text is organized. So when I just look at this card, I see a map. What are some things that you see as you scan and just look at this card?
I see that on the map, I see there's words on the cards.
What else are we noticing or seeing as we scan the article?
I'm noticing what temperature it is.
Can you point to where you're noticing that? Do y'all see where he's pointing?
High temperature. Low temperature.
And then there's another column in that chart that Ben is noticing, which says what? Months? Yeah, so take a look. There's how many charts did the author choose to include in our nonfiction article? Two. And we noticed that there are two. One of them is titled Bottom of Mountain. One of them has a title Top of Mountain. And then there are the columns. So charts are cool nonfiction text features that can help us as we read. And so when we look at the first column, it says month. When we look in the middle column of the first chart, it says
High temperature.
When we look at the last column in the first chart, it says
Low temperature.
Then there's that other chart that talks about what?
The top of the mountain.
And look, there's those same three
Things.
columns. Yeah, things. Okay, so as readers who scan the article, we notice
A map.
and we notice charts with columns. Yeah, here's a chart here and a chart here. Two charts. What else are we noticing, reading friends? Talk to us, Jocelyn. Or were you just stretching your arm? Okay. I don't know. We looked here, we looked here, we looked at that title. What about all this other stuff right here? What are you noticing about this part?
It looks like there's a bunch of topics and maybe things that are about the topic.
Like, what are the Great Smoky Mountains
And what is the weather like in the Great Smoky Mountains?
And think about what you guys just read. Each of those are written as questions, right? What are the Great Smoky Mountains? What do you see at the end of that? What punctuation did the author use?
Question mark.
And then you look at the next topic, to use your word, or section. Yeah, what does it say on the next one? Next section or topic. What are some animals that live in the Smokies? Interesting. And so what you've just looked at and noticed as we scan is going to help us do our reading work today. So here's our I can statement. Can you look this way, Ben? I can use nonfiction text features to help me understand what I am reading. You guys have been using nonfiction text features like maps, like charts, and like sections with topics or headings in your reading before. You guys have read a book called Seahorses together, and you practiced that big book with the seahorses in it. You guys have read Let's Make It Kite, and you practiced this thinking in that book. You guys read a long, big book called Trees that opened out this way. It was really long with all those different kinds of trees in there, and you practiced that in that book. And did you read Beavers yet?
Yeah.
So this isn't a brand new type of thinking for you as readers. You've been practicing it with your class and your teacher, and you might have even done some of this practice when you were working in a group with your teacher. So that's what we want to practice today. How can we take these topics or these sections with these little question headings that the author has given us? How can we use that information along with, what's this nonfiction text feature?
Map.
And the charts, and figure out what does the author want us to know about, what are we reading about? What's our topic today?
The Great Smoky Mountains.
Okay, so in order to do this thinking about reading using our nonfiction text features, we're going to take this slow. So think about those sections, those topics. We're going to read just the first two. So what's the heading for that first section or topic, or the question that the author wrote? Where are the Great Smoky Mountains? So by the end of that little section, I should be able to answer that question with the information, and I might even use the map. Thank you. Look at the second section. What's the heading or the question that the author put at the next topic or section?
Animals that live in the smoky.
We're going to read those two and stop. And then we want to come back and check in as a group about what we found out in the reading part and how those nonfiction text features, maybe the charts or maybe the maps, helps us better understand. Hold your thought. I want you to read either in your head if you're a silent reader, or if you're a whisper reader, whisper read. I've never had the chance to listen to you guys read before, and so what I want to do is kind of check in with everyone and just hear you read a part of the text, okay? So when I come over here to this friend, wherever you are in your reading, if you'll just read in a whisper voice. You don't have to start a new sentence, just wherever you are. And I'll hear a little bit and then move on to all friends, okay? So your job is to read the first two sections and to think about what are we going to be doing as readers?
Use
nonfiction text features and the words in the text to help me understand what I'm reading. So look over at those charts. Look over at that map and see if that can tell you more about what you're reading. You ready? And we're going to talk after you finish. So be ready when you finish those two sections to talk about what you found out in your reading, okay, for those two topics or those two sections. Is that what you just read? Text feature. Where are you, Ben? So you're thinking about these two questions in these sections. What do you know as a reader? And then did you look over here to help you make better sense of